So we got some new tools the other day and thought I would do an unboxing and kind of give you my first impressions of them and see things that we really like about them. So over here we have the 4-piece metric stud puller set, and here we have the fractional stud puller set. Both of these come in 3/8 and 1/2-inch drive. They're 2 for each one, it seems. So let's start with the metric ones. First, I like the case. Mac always seems to have pretty good cases. They lock pretty easy and they're not too hard to open with one hand. The padding on them's nice. We probably won't keep it in there, I don't know. So on this, I like the top molding, well not molding, but the top paper, the lettering to kind of tell you exactly what you're getting and what you're looking at. I like that it's got the part numbers right up on top of both, so that way if something was to happen and you broke one, it wouldn't be too hard to find the part number to replace them. So first impressions, I like the case. The case is really nice. I like down in here that they have them marked also of what they're supposed to be. I like that you can either use them with a socket and you can also put a wrench on them. I like that about these. They seem pretty well built. They got a little bit of weight to them, which is nice. Nice Mac logo. It says for hand use only. So as it says on here also, is not designed for impact. So I like that you can put a ratchet on it, but you can also put a wrench on them. The shaft seems pretty deep on it, so that way if you get a longer bolt, at least you don't have to worry about it bottoming out. At least on this one, you can put a good chunk of the bolt in to get them out. So first impressions about the metric set, I like how high they go. That's really all that we'll be using. Like I've seen some of the other ones, I work on a lot of small equipment, small engines, lawnmowers, weed eaters, that kind of stuff. So most of the time for that, you don't have ginormous bolts. So I do like the fact that even though they go high, they seem low. So that way on here, it does a wide range of stud sizes. So at least that way, when you get something stuck or broke the top of them, at least you can use these, and most of this will be for all of the general use that we'll be using it for. So we'll move over to the fractional set. Same thing on this one. Just got the nice sheet that kind of explains everything to you and shows you kind of what you're getting. Once again, those also say not designed for impact. Always wear eye protection when using tools. Another nice case. Once again, the numbers down here, they're real prominent, so it doesn't take you long to figure out which one's which. Same kind of thing with the metric ones. Still the nice long neck right there, so that way you can put a longer bolt and also pretty good sized bolt in there as well. Stud bolt. Seems pretty well built. On these, it's the same thing. You can use a wrench or a ratchet on them. I like that you can use these on bigger ratchets, because most of the time when you get stuff like this stuck, you need pretty good leverage to get them loose and to get them out. So I do like that you can put a 1/2 inch on this one and 3/8 on this one, so that way you can actually put a little bit of oomph behind it and put a little bit bigger of a ratchet on it, so that way you can get it moved, especially since you're not supposed to use impacts or anything like that on these. I like the engraving on them. Mac tools, 3/8. Maybe one thing about these that I would maybe like to find that a little easier, maybe make it a little bigger, but that's what I really like about that. If you set them in the same spot all the time, you can just look straight down there and grab them. If your Mac is up or if it's turned like that to where you can't really see that. So I do like that they have that labeled in 2 places, because Stuff like for us, these will stay in the package. It's not like we'll take these off and put them on a rack or on a rail with some of the other sockets that we have, just because one, with this case, there's no reason to. You can put them in this case, just take up a little more room, but that's not too big of a concern, especially because the case is so well built. So I kind of thought that I would just demonstrate what these would be used for if you ever broke a bolt, or why you would want to purchase these. So these are for when you break the bolt head, break a little bit of the shaft, because if there's the ability, I like to use a shoulder bolt just because that makes it a little stronger when you're putting things together. So what this does is there are 3 rods basically that would hold the bolt. So when you're sticking this in and you twist, you can see that it's kind of locked up in my hand. So that way when the bolt head is broke, you can stick these on the back of the bolt and twist it to where it locks into place, and that way you can spin this out and remove it completely, because as you can tell, when it locks on, it takes a good chunk to get it out. And at that point, the reason that last one came out is because I let it go. And another thing that I like about this is you can use it forward, you can also use it in reverse. It's dual actuated, it goes both ways, so that way maybe let's say there's better clearance on this side to loosen it, or on this side, you can use it either way. It's not one side specific. So I do like that. So like if you have to put a wrench on it, you can put it on this side and bring it out this way, or you could put it on this far side and bring it out that way. I do like that about them, how they're dual. So that's one of the reasons when these break off and you need to get that bolt out, this is an easier way for sure. If you can get to threads, one way to pull it out. And I do like how even if it's a little bit in there, you can still grab onto it and it'll grab on. You don't need like the whole bolt threads to be sticking on there, because most of the time you're gonna have a nut on the bottom side of this. So even just the smallest of threads getting stuck into there, this thing will grab onto them and pull them out. So I do like that about them. So first impressions on these, they seem really nice. I like them. We'll have to, hopefully this isn't one that we're gonna have to be using too much, because if you break a bolt head, you're in a pretty bad situation. It's not too fun when you have to break these out, but at least with having these, hopefully that'll make it a lot easier to get them loose. So sorry for some of the rambling on here. Like I said, love the cases, love the sockets. Hopefully we don't have to use them too much, but that's why you buy good stuff, so when you get into a situation, they can get you out.